Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. We're back.
Blue Moon.
Oh, yeah.
That one's going to be rough, dude.
Hot beer, cold beer, and free beer, baby.
Last episode, none of us drank.
That's because I had to fucking take flight.
Had to go up and where the hootie house fuck the chickens. So you're going to make up for it today.
Oh, yeah.
But before we really get into this, you got to spend a week with some cool cats.
I'm going to jump into just a touch of this before, and next week I'll jump deeper into it. But I was hanging with some dudes from North. And whenever I say North, I'm talking fucking Winnipeg, bud. I mean, these boys, hey, you want to come back to the room and have Canadian whiskey? You know. Fuck, what do you think, bud? All week, fucking killer. It's so much fun. I do think that they are going to turn us on to some Canadian demolition derby drivers. Mm-hmm. So, be watching for that. We're going to bring out a badass episode from our brothers to the north.
Problem is, we're probably going to be drunk off real deal Canadian whiskey.
Oh yeah, they sent me a bottle home. I mean, these dudes, like, everybody's like, oh man, these guys from Canada are nice. No, that's real shit.
Yeah, they're cool as shit.
Well, I was like, man, you all got any like cool shit from up in Canada? You know, I mean, I'll buy it off of you. Fuck, they were trying to take shirts off and hats and here, fuck, bud, just take my hat. And I'm like.
But that goes to show you this sport, because I know you talked a little bit.
Which, me not being a very social person, I can't believe that the conversation even come up while we were having a whiskey drink, at the bar.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Like, as soon as I said something about demolition derbies, everybody, there was probably 8 or 10 of us in this little group sitting at this little bar there in Ida Grove, Iowa. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, fuck, I got a buddy, that runs that, or hell, my uncle used to do that, or oh fuck, we got some old junk cars, we've always thought about doing that shit." And then the conversation just progressed.
Correct.
And the other guys, they were like, "Well, what kind of stuff do y'all run around here, the Canadians, And I was kind of showing them some videos that they're fucking fucking like a rip bike.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, these guys are. But yeah, they're like, well, we've got a track back home that puts on, these 70, 80 car derbies. And I'm like,
hold on now.
Give me your information.
Yeah, let's back that truck up just a little bit.
So that's coming. That is coming. But for today,
I think we'll go a little bit different directions. Last episode,
Whisky City
drivers list.
Which, holy fuck, bud.
They're going to let her rip by Capital Carnage launch theirs as well.
Yes. And, man.
Just a couple, it looks like maybe just a street stock weld and the limited weld is what they launched. Dude. You
have him on Snapchat.
Did you get the Snapchat today? Yeah. He's like, this one's going to storage, this one's going to storage. He's pretty close up there to that Iowa border, so his Wisconsin, I swear he's got some Canadian, so.
Well, as soon as I met those dudes, I was like, these fucking Canucks. And of course, they swore up down they didn't have an accent that I did. And I'm like, hold up,
Yeah, you probably sound Spanish to them, we're far enough south.
But the light weld lineup, I mean, we've got our local boys headed back that direction. Rob, Trey, Daddy. Always down for a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Cars, Trey and them, I mean, if they're taking what they had, they've got cars left.
They got a lot of... Trey has 96% of car left. But we tried, we can't hit them all, but, just like Brett Gluey, he's taking a light weld, Jason Dials. I don't know if he's got anything left from Blizzard.
This may be a fresh car.
Daryl Ewing.
Yep.
Chris Collins. So
what I like about this list, and we didn't really get to talk about it much off air. We're going to see some different names.
Yes.
And I don't know, like, I think Tim Clark and them maybe ought to thank Whisky City a little bit on that, because they've broke the monotony of the same drivers that you see every year competing out there. You know, you might get a 5-6 name change year to year, but this is a mix-up.
Yes. How many times have we talked in 2022 about the same guys
Running the same show.
same shit every year, and none of the
Not only does that bother the driver, but the fans start looking at it too.
Yes.
Because I don't give a shit. If you're around a person long enough, you learn their drive style, their build style, all that stuff. You're running against the same competition every show. People don't want to do that.
Yes.
That's why they're going to these big shows. Like that, you take the general consensus on that shit is, I'm going out of state to run these big shows so that I'm not running against the same 5 buddies at the county fair.
You get tired of beating the shit out of your own guys.
Yes.
But especially if they're into the same shops.
But if you run enough of those big shows where there wasn't all those big shows, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
If you were running the big shows, you were running against the same group of guys every time.
Yeah. What I really like about this is several of these guys, even on the light weld side, are signed up for Whisky City.
Yeah.
Super stock side. Rob and Trey Hewer.
Teddy P on that list?
Teddy P is on this list, but Teddy P is not officially on the Whisky City list. So I think there might be a rooster in the hen house.
I'm not going to speak on that one.
John Maywis. Multiple cars going to this. You've got Chris Collins, who was signed up for Whisky City as well. Teddy's dude. You got some tiny Losies in there, you know. This isn't that Julian Suter.
Yeah.
So and we've seen him out there, Alan Hassey. We've seen him out there as well. I was thinking, no, that's in the street stock weld side. The street stock weld, it's got your Kish boys in there, man.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, like I said, they're both going to be good shows. I'm not going to take that away from any of it.
No.
You take 2 caliber of shows that are about to go down within, days of each other. Like you're talking
14 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're talking 14 days. You're talking days of each other. Can you imagine the guys that are coming from out west that are going to have to drive home? If they're signed up for both shows, there's going to be windshield time.
Oh yes,
for days.
Yes.
You got the guys that are even centrally located. They're going to have a week's rest before they're loading shit right back in the trailer.
Correct.
And headed the other direction.
I never thought, looking at this sport 10, 12 years ago, that there would actually be guys who will fly to a derby while somebody else is hauling their shit. Yeah,
it would never be me.
Oh, no, because you can't get your big ass on an airplane. I mean, you could. I don't feel like I need to hold your hand to get you through the doors or nothing.
Maybe a handful of fucking pharmaceuticals or something.
Well, street pharmacist or alcohol.
Right. Maybe both.
First time I ever flew, dude, I got hammered. And
maybe
I'm telling
it
doesn't take you near as much at 30,000 foot.
Maybe I could just hammer out some hot rails and fly out there myself. Fucking arms might get tired, but
then throw just a couple Red Bulls in there to give you the wings. This, I don't think Capital Carnage will disappoint.
Oh, well,
and we've seen Capital Carnage change from the beginning of what it started out to be, heavy built cars, mod cars, no jokes, run heats.
I'm
run
still
qualifiers.
going to bitch about Carnage a little bit. I'm sorry. there's no fucking hobo big car class still. I don't get it.
But did you pay attention to Facebook while you were in the classes this week?
No. I was too busy fucking hungover. I think Canadian whiskey all week. I'm still not right.
It's pretty bad when he tells me that he doesn't even do the shit by ounces anymore. It's by liters.
Yeah, I've converted to the metric system.
Sam announced for Gold Rush that they were doing a bone stock. I'd say it's probably the same build as Whisky City.
Because
singles
I did
class.
not get drawn into that. I tried.
No, it's sold out.
Because I was talking to a couple other guys that run the bone stock bigger show stuff as well, and we were all messaging each other like, "Hey, it's go time!" Like everybody, you get a spot. I want my name on the bitch, whatever. Well, 601, we were all messaging each other back. Anybody get anything? And all there was a bunch of no's. So
I heard it sold out in less than 5 seconds.
I can see that. I was in bumfuck nowhere and did not have access to 14 phones like I did for the last one.
Yeah.
Because the guys in class probably weren't going to help me do that. Like, hold up, time out, guys.
The Canadians might have.
Oh, yeah. They would have been like, fuck, bud, I don't know what you're going to do.
We'll get you in here, bud. But, like I said, I don't think it's going to disappoint. You've got some top-notch guys, drivers, builders. When you can put on a derby with Mr. 5X and 005 and 00 that are going to be in the same shit, I mean, you're going to watch some stuff happen. And that's the thing about John. You don't know if he's going to be in a goddamn van or he's going to be in a light weld or a street stock or a stock car. You just don't know with him. But most of these guys are going to build in their realm of really what they're used to. When you go to that Jason Dials, Teddy, Rob, Trey, Chris Collins, they're building in their wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. We all see Chris drive, Chris Collins driving down to the last couple in Blizzard Bash in a mod car. But I promise you, he can drive a light weld.
Well, speaking of people that run big shows, know the big show platform.
Yeah.
Know how to cash checks at big shows. Let's get him on phone.
That'll work. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Bank Don't Care live
on the phone.
On the phone.
What's up, fellas?
He's not in the fucking woods this time.
Well, man,
I'm out of the woods. I'm not in BFE today. I'm actually out here in the shop attempting to get something done. So,
and we're gonna fuck that up for a little
bit. Hit the pause button on that.
Which we did talk. We're roughly
5 weeks out.
5 out.
Well, a little less whenever this shit drops.
Yeah, Mr. Cody Meyer is taking 2 to Whisky City. A what?
Hobo compact, sorry.
Hobo. He is going to defend his title from last year. We did hit on that a little bit. That show, a lot of people weren't sure what they were getting into, but I've never seen Cody really back down from sort of a new challenge, what I'm saying? And he goes out, and the first one who flips anybody is Cody.
Right.
In reverse, in a W body. If I had to bet a couple $1,000 on it, I'd say he's probably taking a W body back to that same class. Am I correct?
That's a safe bet. It's a safe bet. That's all I'm
Does it have a pointy on it?
I don't even know what you're talking about. What's a pointy?
Something a lot of people are fucking scared of. That's what that is.
A lot.
I'll be honest with you. I used to get laughed at, man. I'm talking like 10, 12 years ago, for putting those on the front of those W bodies. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're gonna ruin that car. Those cars can't handle a bumper like that." I literally had people point and laugh like I was an idiot. And I think that's pretty much the norm now.
I'll say, how'd that shit work out for him?
Well, everybody's giving $800 for the motherfuckers now. So.
Yeah.
Man, you ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. When I'm telling you, I've got a stack of them here, and I get asked all the time if I want to sell them, and man, you just can't. I don't. You can't replace them. They're people want too much.
Yeah, but you're cheating. You're buying the whole fucking car.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
I'd love to come to your derby, Steven, but I got to go pick up these 2 cherry fucking Mopars. I'm like, all right, yeah, fair enough.
That was a good day.
Yeah, I would have rather been with you than where I was at.
There was quite a few of familiar faces over there picking them up. I couldn't bid fast enough on that to get more than 2. I was scrambling on my phone trying to keep up with the bids, and man, I tell you what, it's hard to do.
Well, Cody, you are like we just said, you're going back for the
Hobo Compact.
Hobo Compact show, but you also got a van spot as well.
Only vans.
Yeah, onlyvans.com. I don't know. Been running them a lot, around here. So I'm going anyway. I got a trailer big enough to take 2. I figured more the merrier.
Without giving any of the build secrets out on the vans, everybody I've talked to said this is like a little bit more of a build than your county fair van that everybody's building. Like, what are they talking about when they're saying that?
I don't do anything different from how I build at a county fair to what I'm doing there.
I got you.
I can throw a van together quick. I mean, I seriously don't do anything special. You'd be surprised how many people ask, what I'm doing to these front ends, or I'm really not doing anything special.
Just putting hog nasty pointies on them.
Pointies, yeah. A couple little things, odds and ends behind that. But I mean, it really is just you just got to be smart with what you do with it.
That's one thing.
You don't want to go heads up, with somebody else that is built just as hard or harder than you up front. I mean, try to focus on something that's a little softer, so that way that gives and you don't.
Well, Cody, that's one thing that we have noticed around here all last summer is those vans are so hard out of the factory. Some are harder in the ass than the others. Some are harder in the nose as the others.
Well, we were giving them 2 plates at our shows there toward the end of the year on these vans, and nobody knew where to put them.
Yeah, I mean, bumper strap. That's about the only place that I would use them. I mean,
that's what a lot of people were doing. I told everybody, I think, in my opinion, I probably would have tried to wrap that plate around the strut somewhere, but that was me.
Yeah, the weakest thing I found on them is really the motor mounts. The motor mounts, especially in the Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth vans, I think they're cast aluminum. I mean, you go using that front end very hard, and you're busting motor mounts, and that's been my biggest issue with them. Other than that, I love it.
Well, the guys that we've actually seen have really good luck with the vans is they drive them like a station wagon.
Yep.
They'll drive them like a clamshell. They'll reverse until they can't go no more, and then they go forward.
I actually got to see one blow apart last year. It was the first one I'd ever seen, and I got to watch it. It almost Mopar whale tail at the leaf springs on a Dodge minivan.
Mm-hmm.
It was something. I mean, it blew the roof apart on it. It was completely used up.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. And I agree. That's how I try to drive them. I'm going to try to drive with the ass as long as I can. Depending on what I've got up front, you'll find a shot that you got to take every now and then. It's just too good presents itself, and it's like, oh man, I got to take that. So you end up using the front end, but using that ass end up. If you can get the pack in right, those things. I'm telling you, a lot of people laugh at them because they're minivans, but they're no joke on the inside.
No, they don't fuck around whatsoever, dude. And that's something that we've really figured out. And like my boy has ran a couple Honda Odysseys, and the ass doesn't seem near as hard as the front does. but vice
Right.
versa on a Caravan, their fronts looks like they might be a little weaker, but their asses are tanks. And I'd say it's all because of the stow and go stuff, but I ain't no pro.
Oh no, me neither. I just buy what's cheap, something that runs good. I'll throw it. I'm not prejudiced. I'll drive whatever. I'll drive a Dodge. I'll drive a Ford. I'll drive a Honda or a Nissan. It doesn't matter to me. I'm still learning on them. They're new.
Well, I don't think they're going anywhere, so you got a little time to learn.
Oh no, and I'm surprised it took so long for them to catch on. Honestly, I mean, Jesus, minivans are everywhere.
Everywhere. That was one of the most produced vehicles on the market, and that's no bullshit.
I tried to get them going at my county fairs, years ago, and we only had 1-2 people show up. Then it was 3-4 people show up, and the promoters and the fair boards were kind of like, man, we got to have more numbers if we're going to do this. And it just blew my mind how long it took. Now we're finally getting the numbers, but it just blew my mind how long it took to get the numbers. Because I mean, you can find one anywhere.
Oh yeah, you could almost call a wrong number and end up with a minivan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cody, we're going to hit on, since we're talking to the van, I know you've seen the van list, the driver's list.
Yeah.
There's some guys pretty close to you, Dylan Patrick, Zach Frutig, have you guys been able to kind of converse with each other?
He ain't gonna fucking tell you.
I'll give you. Yeah, we've definitely talked. Honestly, Dylan Patrick didn't have a spot. I ended up through the grapevine finding a kid that was actually looking to sell. I think it was 2 spots, if I remember right. And so as soon as I saw that, I sent a Snapchat to Dylan and said, "Hey man, I know you've been looking to get into van class." I sent him a screenshot, I think, of the kid that had those 2 spots for sale, and I immediately knew they'd both go because as soon as Dylan got in, I knew for a fact he was going to get that other one over to free tag. But no, like I said, you always want to have a few familiar faces out there. I mean,
well, he's a fucking kill car.
There's no hiding that. I mean, it's better to have more friends than less. That's for sure.
Well, that's kind of the way I was really reading into that. You guys run against each other quite a bit.
Yeah, we sure do. Yeah, I mean, we county fairs, around here, all the 3 of us we go at it. So,
it's nice to
have some hard fought battles between all of us.
Yeah,
so
and
no doubt about that.
And it's nice to actually go to a show where you don't have to do that until
the
end of it. Usually it's you guys.
If you make it that far, if you make it far enough to where it comes down to you and a couple, of your familiar, local buddies, you've done all right.
Yeah, yes. It's time to get it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave. What's they say? Leave them, put the women and children in bed and go looking for fucking dinner, boys.
Yes.
That's right.
Now we're going to jump to your compact class. We hit on that earlier.
There's a shitload of Missouri guys in there.
Oh, yeah. And some of these guys I don't think you're real familiar with running against.
Would have been if he would have come over here.
We tried. We were in conversations with each other trying to get it lined up, but his schedule just didn't work.
He's always out buying fucking junky old Mopars.
I'm telling you, I wanted to come over there and do this at your guys' place, but let me tell you,
it's a haul,
drive
brother.
is over an hour and a half. It may as well be 14 hours because forget it. I'm telling you what, I put a lot of miles on sometimes.
Well, that's why you got to find a junky old Mopar to buy over here. Then you just swing in and do it real quick.
You guys find me something, I'm there.
I got a couple out back I might turn loose up.
You got one about done in your garage. I just come by that one.
Negative.
I don't know if you're talking about that price that everybody was getting for them spots in that stock class, fuck, I might be interested.
No shit.
But you've seen the list. The entire fucking nation has seen these lists.
If you know about Derby and you've read through these names.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
this show ought to be just fucking insane. Honestly, I don't know that any of these classes.
Every class. I mean, look at the list in every class. I mean, it's just the whole weekend's going to be stacked.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think that anybody's going to have to sit through a boring heat.
No.
Because I think there's going to be a blend of drivers in each heat that is just the pace will be set from the drop.
100%.
Now, is there anybody in this bone stock list that really makes you open your eyes a little bit to say, "Oh shit, I'm going to have to work a little bit harder for this"?
In the compact class?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I'm just hoping I'm not on their shit list for a while. I mean, definitely. There's every demolition derby. You could have a kid out there his first time on the track, and he could put the right shot on you. But no, I mean, definitely there's a good handful of drivers on there, that really, they know what the fuck they're doing. And like you said, it's just, you just got to play those cards right. I feel like for the most part, I kind of know what I'm doing. I'll tell you, I'm mafia insured. Let's just put it that way. I just tell people I'm mafia insured. Hey, fucker, you want to hit me? That's fine, but I promise you, I'm returning the favor. So you better make the first one good.
If you get shirts made, if that's not on the back of them, then you're fucking crazy. Because that's a good son of a bitch right there. I like that.
I mean, everybody asks me that. They're like, "Well, who are you gonna hit?" Well, who are you gonna hit? And I'm like, nobody. I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna do my thing, and the person that I hit's they'll let me know.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've talked about with other guys is that sometimes they don't want to be the first one to hit. They want to be the first one to be hit, so they know who they're gonna go after off the rip.
Not me. I'm gonna fucking kamikaze that shit. I'm just gonna be a fucking pinball out there.
Yeah. No, there's definitely, and there's other times, when I go out somewhere and maybe, you do have a little bit of beef with somebody. I try to keep the drama to a minimum. I've had my days in the past where it kind of found me, but I try to keep out of it, and just keep a level head. We're all family out there. We're all in the same sport. We've all got the same, values and everything. It's just like, with all these donations and fundraisers and stuff that go on where, we have these kids that got an illness or something and the Derby family comes together and puts some money together. And, we're all in this together. Mm-hmm. And I try to keep it that way. Even if I rock somebody or put somebody on their lid, you can bet your bottom dollar after that I'm going to shake their hand and buy them a beer. There's no hard feelings in any of it. It's just, we're out there doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Fuck, you can turn me over anytime then.
He says as long as there's beer involved, flip it. But man, how you kind of figured that out, just kind of what you spoke on. When you go out there and you've got 23 other guys that you're running against, and you do have a few buddies, we know that we're talking at a level of competition that is the highest.
Yeah.
No drama. Go out there, do your work, because I understand it's a job, it's doing something that you love to do, but once you strap that fucking helmet on, now it's your job.
Yep.
So how I'm trying to word this where I don't
know what your fucking strategy is.
No, I'm not.
But it's
How do you decipher when it's go time with your buddies and when it's not?
hand signals.
Definitely some sign language in there. Definitely some sign language in there for sure. And I don't know. That's a good question. You've actually got me thinking. It just happens. I don't know, man.
How's Positrack on Plymouth work?
You got me speechless.
Because
but it happens. I mean, you're right. There is a point when it's almost like a switch flips, and you go from 14 cars to 5, and then it's like, oh shit, we gotta do something, and now's the time.
Well, like any of them that I've ever run, whenever, say it got down to, like in Salisbury, it was me, Teddy, Epi, and Justin, and all of us. And we did what we had to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 2 spots left before we were all going to the feature. Well, we knew that the judges were going to start being on our ass real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Teddy and I rolled by each other, kind of gave the head nod. Justin, I didn't really know him at the time. He gave me the head nod. And then me and him met at the end of the track. Now, I'm not saying Teddy jumped on me too or this and that. We just started mixing it up. It was time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of, if you're running with that little group like that, you just know. Like Cody was saying, there comes a time where you drop from that 12 car to the 6 cars left. It's time to get down on it.
Because, there's could be time, just like you said, you had 14 cars, and if you're working on one end and the next thing you know, you're only one of 5 running.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, 8 of these fuckers just went out.
Yeah, it's time to go.
And then the next thing you know, you're getting blasted.
It happens fast, too.
Yeah.
There'll be sometimes when that drop, there's like you said, there's 14 cars left, and you're thinking, man, I hope I've got enough fuel, And then all of a sudden, you look up.
8 of them are gone.
There's 5 left, 4 left.
Well, that's what happened out there at Blizzard Bash that year I run. We run for 18 minutes, and I looked up onto that last red flag, and I was like, oh, fuck, there's only 12 sticks left up out here.
Yeah.
And I was driving around dead cars. Like, that's how, that's whenever I was like, oh, fuck, it's, like, I probably ought to start paying a little better attention. Not saying that I was just out there fucking off.
No, but tunnel vision takes over.
Well, yeah, I was kind of out there fucking around, Whether it be me and Colbert, rubbing paint over in the corner or whatever, I look up, fuck, there's nobody left.
Yep.
And it's time to go. Like,
hell, I've been on the opposite side of that spectrum, though. When I'm the first or second one out, and then it's just a long fucking derby. Got front row tickets to the show now.
That's when you start pulling those beers out of the center, or out of between the seats.
Don't say center console, because now every motherfucker and their dog is going to have a center console left in there.
12 volts in there. Fucking plug it in, like.
12 volt coolers in the center console.
You know those beer dispensing helmets like on Happy Birthday? Why have they not made a DOT racing helmet with one of those?
Because I don't know what.
I think you just answered your own question.
Because I don't know if you can get a SFI certification, when you can have a.
If you all have seen my head bounce off of the pillars as much as they do, then you would understand. Mine would have to be internal. I'd have to have a helmet for my helmet.
Oh, man.
But, all right, well, let's switch gears a little bit. We've hounded him on Whisky City. Mm-hmm. He's going to be there. He's going to show up, show out.
We are going to have to catch up and do a little bit of beverage intake.
Yes.
While
we get a live snippet.
Bright and early. Well, not bright and early, but I'll be there early enough Friday morning, and
hold on.
I'm going to be on a captain kick the whole weekend. So
when do you run?
Get that out there.
When do you run?
Saturday night too, I think. You run Saturday night too, don't you?
Yeah. I think the compacts are Friday night, and then the
vans.
So you got one of each.
So
okay.
A little breather in between there.
Well, that's good because Friday night we can go out and just get fucked up.
Oh man, scratch the next half day off the calendar for me.
Exactly. Well, actually, they say if you don't stop drinking,
You don't feel
you
bad.
don't get a hangover.
Well, all right, you talked me into it.
I think that I'm going to drink whiskey the biggest majority of the time.
Oh yeah, just get you a 44. Just get you a tumbler cup and you're set.
I don't know where to get those at.
Well, we've got some kind of pretty cool hard-nosed podcast. Actually, right now we've got he is holding
I'm
a
actually
4-in-1,
Yeah.
so it will actually hold beer bottles, tall, skinny cans such as the
I'm
Michelob
actually shooting a
Ultra.
promo photo as we speak.
It'll hold a regular beer can, and it's got a screw-on lid to have your mixed drinks on
and
there.
I've got a compact shirt on.
This just went to an infomercial.
But wait, there's more.
See the bottom of this boat? I'm going to shoot this fucker with a grenade, and then I'm going to put some Flex Seal on it.
Oh, but so let's so we talked to like Clayton and a few other guys from across the river. What are you seeing as far as your local rule changes?
Local rule changes.
Because it seems like everybody's getting
Not
away from
much.
the
Not much. I think everything is staying about the same as far as I know. I've got 2 different promoters here in my area. I've got one set of rules for 4 or 5 counties that are right here local to me. And then as you get, further over towards the river, you get over like towards Clayton's area. They're slightly different, but not much. I mean, the rules are close enough that you can take one car to the other show with minimal preparation. Let's put it that way. It's not like they're drastically different rules where you've got to build 2 different cars.
This might be the only time you ever hear me say this. Missouri needs to be a little bit more like Illinois.
Yeah, that's the only aspect of it. That's for damn sure.
Because they jumbled our rules this year and changed everything.
Right.
Almost like some hybrid rules in
Yeah.
between tweeners,
Yeah.
is what I would call them. They're not one, they're not the other. They're kind
They
of in
come
the
up with a
middle.
whole new fucking rule set. And I'm telling you, it uprooted our derby community. I mean, nobody knows where the fuck to run. Still.
So now a lot of them are not even going to run the local stuff. They're just going to do the big shows, the Whisky Cities, the
And
Spring
they will
X.
drag
And stuff.
shit back that they
Oh, I'm sure they will.
But nobody's like building fresh cars for
Local shit.
local shit. I mean, you got your.
He Cody, if you just paid attention, he went to step on his pee-pee,
Well,
but stopped himself.
you've got your guys that are diehard local show guys.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that really have no interest in the big shows.
Yes.
They're gonna build to something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they know what that is yet.
I'll tell you, over here, all of our local rules are pretty much domination motorsports. Candace's show, or promotion, domination. When Austin started helping with that Southern 9 tour, where he had those P Hill shows, that was all domination. Mike Brown used to be a big promoter over here. He's let it go now, so he's not going to be on the promotion side of it anymore. But in this area, if you build to domination rules, you're going to be close. I mean, like I said, there's going to be very, very minor tweaks from here to there. And when I say minor tweaks, I'm talking like, one show might allow 3/4 all thread and the other might allow 5/8.
But normally
As far
that
as your
shit
drive
right
line,
there
your
is
bumpers,
something.
your
they're
door
promoted.
strapping, all that stuff, it's all the same. It's all domination.
I love hearing that shit. I love it.
Yep. I mean, we had some promoters come to us and they're like, guys, what can we do? And that's been everybody's thing for a long time. Hey,
Pay us
get
more
on the
money.
same page with rules. And it seems like it's always so hard to do that. I mean, I actually begged and pleaded, with our guys one time. I'm like, let's just all run domination rules. Everybody likes them. Look at back when domination had Bowling Green.
Mm-hmm.
That show was huge. There's 5,000 people there. That show ran till 2 a.m. because they had a good, clean rule set that everybody could build to.
Why do you think finally, we did what we did?
We started getting promoters on board with going with that, and I think it's taken off. It's taken off.
Well, that's what my street stock rules were. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts. It was fucking copy and pasted from Candace's rules. I messaged Candace and was like, "Hey, not gonna step on your dick. At my shows after Bowling Green, I want the fucking cars that are left over from there."
Well, and as a promoter, you should be honored that someone's stealing your rules. That means you're doing something right.
She said absolutely take them. Just put on there, that rules were by Domination Motorsports. And I said,
yep, exactly.
Of course.
Give them the credit for it, but use them. I mean,
yes.
It's only going to help everybody. Not only is it going to help the promoter that's using them, it's going to help the promoter that you're copying them from too, because then there's 3 more, 4 more, 5 more shows that cars can go back and forth between. I mean, it's a win-win.
See, this is we have personally, Stephen and I have talked about it. There's a unified point series around just to the east of us. Mark Elliott's deal, and now we've got a lot of these guys that are. He's out of beer already. A lot of these guys that are, doing the stuff with Sam, whether it's, Taylor Feldkamp, the guys from Stern Dirt, so, and they're all running really the same rules for that side.
Fucking do it.
Yes, I mean, I can't see why these guys can't jump on board and say, hey, let's do this. Let's do a unified deal, all the same rules. But if you haven't noticed in the state of Missouri, there's a big swinging dick pissing contest.
Bad.
That nobody wants to be one-upped.
And what's crazy is who in the fuck would ever want 40 shows? Like, why would you ever want to do that to yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want one.
7's enough.
Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah,
that was too fucking much.
And there's these promotion companies that go out there and they have a dozen or 18.
I'll tell you a good thing about Taylor Feldkamp. I ran Metal Mayhem for the first time this year. He communicates with his drivers, at the meeting. Mm-hmm. Hey, who's got a bitch? Hey, what's wrong with? Is there anything at all that I can do to make this better? Like, he openly asks for driver input, like right at the meeting. I mean. What can we change for next year? What do you guys not like? What do you like that we're already doing? I mean, he is. I was impressed with him. He was very Q&A with the drivers. He wants to know what you want, and he listens. I think there were some changes made this year. I think for the rules maybe that a lot of guys were on board with, but just acting like you give a fuck about your, about the drivers that are coming to your show is huge.
Hold on, you're telling me that you should give the people that are running your show an opinion?
Who would have thought?
Holy fuck. So you're telling me that the people that are building and making your shows what they are when they show up and run are the ones you should be getting the information from on how your rule set is? Huh.
You mean there's people that don't run the shows that open their mouths and talk about that shit?
Oh, fuck.
Which, hitting on Taylor signed up for Whisky City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
He's not a greedy promoter. I talked to him last year.
Yeah, he is just that. He knows what shows he's got.
Yes.
So why not take my other time and go have some fucking fun?
Yes. The dude has his fingers so far on the pulse. It's fucking insane. Like, he's one that you're not going to see. Like, his shows will be good until he's like, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yep. Yeah. And which we're going back, we're going to go back to Whisky City Spring X.
Right.
You'll probably be working.
I'm going to try to go. I've got a spot.
I'm going to try to go.
I've already told my boss that. Because I don't take days off. So, whenever I tell him shit like that, he's like, we can probably work around it.
Correct.
It's the build time that is where I run into issues. I'm going to have to get me one of the fucking toter homes so I can work on it on the road.
Well, Cody, you had, we're going to change the subject a little bit. You look like you had a very great hunting season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. For
Which
sure. I had a good one this year.
I know you kind of, the last time we talked to you earlier last year, you were really, Derby season was over, and that's your fill time.
Yeah, definitely. You know, fall. I'm in deer mode in the fall. That was one of my problems with Blizzard Bash. Blizzard Bash falls on the Illinois rut every freaking year. It's the weekend before gun season. It's just bad timing for me. The shows that are mid-October through, mid-November, count me out. You're not, I've always been a pretty hardcore deer hunter, and that's my time of year to focus on that. I did go to Blizzard Bash once to run, actually twice. Didn't do worth a shit either time, and was like, I could be hunting right now. So
he's got plenty of time to go pick up junky old Mopars.
That's what I've done ever since. And
dude, if you can't hear this, he is still busting your nuts about picking up junky old Mopars.
Unless I have to go pick up a Mopar.
Well, kind of where I was going with that is, as much time as you spend in a deer stand, do the wheels just sit there and turn and turn and turn about you progressing your build style, you may be considering running something other than a W body, going up to a full size and running that full time? Because we all kind of know, anybody who deer hunts, you have a lot of downtime where your brain just kind of keeps on moving.
Well, I will tell you this. There's a few people that know this, but I'm actually having a fresh LS built right now. It's actually getting wrapped up as we speak, honestly. And I'm getting, Zir is building me a nice cradle for it. And I think I've got 4 full-size cars left that I own. I've got a wagon, 2 shockers. No, I'm sorry. I've got a wagon and 3 shockers left. And I told myself I'm going to build one last full-size engine. I've already got everything, the pedal setups, the tanks, the rear ends. I've got all that. I'm going to run these last 4 full-size cars, and I'm probably going to be done with the big cars. They are more time-consuming to me. I'm just not in that clique anymore, and I can pull a W body into the shop, strip that thing out. If I had a week, if I had 5-7 days where I had absolutely no obligations at all, just wake up, eat shit, and work on cars, I could pump one of these things out in a week. But my schedule, unfortunately, I've got more irons in the fire than just cars. So it
Correct.
takes, I chip away a little at a time. But no, I'm definitely going to run a few more big cars. But I think once I run out, I'm going to be out of it, I think.
That's what everybody says.
I think.
He said big cars.
He just sat here and lied on a podcast.
Lied for the world to hear.
Well, Cody, I'm glad that we could get you back on here. Hopefully this will kind of get you pumped up and get ready to get back in the fucking saddle and get ready for this year, because I'm sure we're going to see you again.
Oh yeah. I've had the itch. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Deer season's been out for a month. I've been building. The itch is there.
Hell, I didn't even know they had any deer over there in Illinois.
Very few.
Well, again, we appreciate you getting on here, talking shit with us, letting us give you shit. Until the next time.
We'll catch up with you in 5 weeks, brother.
Yes. I'm gonna see you guys in 5 weeks. we're gonna be right there. We're gonna be staying right there by the Civic Center. So we're gonna be within walking distance, thankfully, of about everywhere we need to go. It's gonna be a good time.
So are you in the Marriott too?
Yeah, I'm right there.
That's where we are.
So are we.
Oh yes.
Brother, we will see you in 5. That was Bank Don't Care.
You know, he didn't say it once at this point.
Well, if he cashes another check as he did last year, he will have to go find that big check bank. But that is the difference. Last year, he only ran the one class. This year, you know, like he just said, fuck it. I got a 40-footer. I'm going to take them both. I think that just justifies how big this thing that we are portraying it is actually going to be. Everybody is so jazzed up about the show, but then they're so jazzed up about you can actually go out and enjoy the night.
Fuck yes, that's what I'm ready for. Like, because it's, I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's all about the derbying.
But even the non-drinkers, they can still go do something.
They can watch me get stupid.
We don't have to leave the facility to do that.
I've been practicing.
You've hung out with a bunch of Canucks.
Yeah, I ought
you've
to
been
hold
practicing.
this on because I'm pretty sure that if I could hold on the momentum that I had going over the week.
You're not going to be able to take enough cash.
Dude, them fucking Canadians, I'm telling you. The whole time we were in this training, dude, they were drinking. 6 o'clock in the morning, I give him some hard-nosed, dirty podcast. Fucking koozies. And he's like, hey, bud, I used your koozie this morning.
This morning?
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're at breakfast. It's 7:30. He's like, I already had 2 beers. I'm like, holy shit. Fucking give me a beer, bud.
But that's the thing. Steven did not punk out.
I've represented for the United States. I felt like I was trying to uphold my country.
Yes, America.
I was representing the United States, and it probably took 5 years off my life. But from the time we got out of that class until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I drank whiskey. And a lot of it.
Your liver is very tainted right now.
I was driving home, and I think that I was catching drunk spells. Like I'd take a big old drink of a core water, and it was like it was almost sparking again.
It's just rejuvenating the whiskey blend in your gut, bud.
Fuck. But
Man, we appreciate Cody getting on here with us.
I always
Talking
like
about,
talking to the dude because
Yeah.
he's so stand up whenever
Yep.
it comes to that shit. Like we were trying to get him to talk some shit, and he still wouldn't do it.
you won't do it.
Couldn't even bait him into it.
This thing, Carnage. We hit Carnage. The list, the 2 lists that they put out last week as well. That show is going to be. It's going to be wow too. I do not get to go to that show. We actually have a little fundraiser over for some kids over in Illinois on that Saturday. Somebody asked me to do this with them, trivia. I was like, yeah, cool. He's like, well, the reason I asked you is because you're smart. I was like, thanks, Dick. He says, the reason I asked you is because it's music trivia. Oh, okay. That changes a little bit, but it's just something for the kids.
I've got something that I wanted to bring up
Okay.
before we end this shit real quick. So this the Derby Life, Demolition Derby Life
Mm-hmm.
magazine, whatnot.
Yes?
They're coming out with an app.
Yes.
It's going to be Demolition Derby news, media, all this stuff. One app. No third-party advertisement. None. So no distracting bullshit that's going to try to that's going to try to take away from the experience of what this app, what they're trying to bring to the Derby world with this. They did ask us to be a part of it. Of course, both feet. I didn't have to even think about it. I wanted in immediately. Anything that we can do to help get this sport out there. And with the rise in technology, we've talked and talked. This is the way of the future. It's social media. Technology is going to be. That's where it's at now. It's not a paper copy world anymore.
No.
I believe that this is dropping the 7th. I'm going to get some more information on it, but I'm pretty sure that is where it's coming from. I don't have all the information on it. I'm sure with just a touch of research
And messages back and forth.
Yeah. It's the 7th. Here it is. Demolition Derby Life, the app, will officially be live and in action on both App Store and Google Play.
So for the technology simple as myself, that is an Android app.
Yep.
And an Apple app.
And it looks like it's called Demolition Derby Life.
Yep.
So if you want to get on there, check that out. I know that you should probably be mindful. It's new, so I'm sure there'll be some bugs to be worked out of it. But I'm thinking that it's going to put pretty much the Derby schedule. I mean, big show schedule. I think all the way down to your local stuff. I think it's going to put it at your fingertips. So check that out. Make sure that you're watching their page. They have got it going on. DerbyLife.com. DemolitionDerbyLife.com. They've got swag. They've got everything. I don't know if people's been watching or not. I think they've published around 40 copies or editions.
Hard copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the little bit of research I did after the messages that we got, instead of getting the hard copy, I believe you're going to be able to read the magazine off the app.
Yes.
Like an e-reader or something like that. So you don't have to sit there and wait on your subscription to come in the mail.
I'm not sure what that girl's name is that messaged us. I think it's Lexi
Droz or Draws.
Yeah, that's it. But she's the one that reached out, and honestly, I mean, it sounds like they're doing some breakthrough shit.
Yes.
So that'll give you something that you can go scroll through, check out, give them some foot traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not the most technologically advanced like myself, it's something that you should support regardless, because they're pushing the sport in the right direction.
As long as you enjoy the sport and you want to see it grow.
Information, man. Information. Yeah. The more you know.
Yes.
So whenever somebody's trying to do something like that, like even if it just go download that shit.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yes.
Because that's what makes that stuff work. Downloads, views. We know all too much about that.
Yeah.
And we are going to have some more stuff coming available for Hard Nose. We've been working. I know that Tanya has just been just pumping out merchandise. Dude,
the 4-in-1s are so badass.
I mean, hell, even if you don't like Hard Nose, get it, put another sticker over it. The koozie speaks for itself. I mean, it just kept my hot beer hot.
Yes.
It's perfect. That beer did not cool down once while it was in there.
Because you didn't grab one out of the fridge.
Right. Well, and I mean, Hard Nose. We've talked about having a little bit of video footage.
Yes, that is in the works. So,
and well, y'all can look at our ugly asses, and then you'll be able to see what the fuck Derek's pointing at. Whenever he's like, whenever they're like this, and I'm like, Derek, they still can't see.
They can see the air quotations.
But no, got some breakthrough shit coming.
Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the downloads every week.
Because the shit's taking off. I mean, it really is. And it doesn't without you all.
Yes.
I'm not trying to get all sappy and shit.
But now
you all are putting us in a place where we're going to be able to buy better equipment.
Yes.
We're expanding all the time, sponsoring this, trying to get our name out there, trying to support the Derby community. We've been talking about doing some raffles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Derek worked on a couple commercials there, or ads. That we don't want to clog the whole episode up with advertisements, but we
Correct.
do want to get information out there
Mm-hmm.
for parts and stickers, and because like Broadhead, that dude, all the time.
That's the thing with Justin. He just
I called him the other day. I was like, "Hey man, if I since I'm actually gonna get a fucking car done for a Derby, probably gonna need a roof sign." He's like, "Well, I'm pretty busy. I'll try to get work on it here in the next couple of days." Well, about 4 hours later, he's like, "You want me to send this shit?" Or I'm like, "Holy shit, man!" And killer, like whenever I get it and get the roof sign put together and stuff, I'm not gonna fuck with it until my car's done. But
correct.
we will post that link up and shit
Mm-hmm.
and get it on there so you all can kind of check out what he's doing, because I sent him a general idea of what I wanted, and he made it look better than I ever thought.
Then you thought about it in your
Yeah.
head. Yeah. And that's the thing about Justin. We're actually going to get him on here.
Oh yeah, even if he doesn't want to.
Different time zone. I think it's 2 hours different, so we have to work around his really busy schedule to do that.
Are you saying that he's busy? Because
I think he's a little busy.
that dude is insane.
Yeah.
I've asked him for other stuff, and he's like, like our logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I asked him, I was like, "Hey, you think you could draw something up for that?" "Yeah, but I'm kind of busy. It'll be this and that." 30 minutes
Then your
later,
phone goes
yeah.
ding. Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for like I said, just keep listening. Keep the downloads coming. The shares are growing. The views are growing.
Wait till we get this new thing set up. It's going to be kind of a buy me a drink type deal. And you all get to donate just a little bit of money, and you get to pick what I drink. And we'll make sure that it's on video. And hey, I guess I'm going to start whoring myself out that direction. It's whatever.
Or feet picks.
Or feet pics.
Either way. Well, got any last
We're
words?
going to end it on that? That's what we're stopping this on. Perfect.
Make junk, boys.